So I've set up this brand new area as a live streaming workstation area. And one of the key components on this desk right here is the brand new device from OSEE. Now, in exchange for them sending over the unit, they asked that I upload a video about my thoughts of this particular unit. You know me, I don't like doing unboxing videos or review videos. I like to focus on use case videos, and that's going to be no different for this. So we're going to walk through what this is and how I think it would work for you. More specifically, why there's certain elements that just don't work for me in the way that I like to show up on video, especially in this scenario. I think it's very important that we start by the why. Why would you need a device like this? This is a 4K video capture card, which allows you to bring in a higher quality camera into your live streaming or video recording setup. Now, if you're in a scenario where you're sitting in front of your desk like this using a traditional webcam, you wouldn't need this device, because your webcam would just connect directly to your computer, and then you could bring that into any of the video software platforms that you would like, especially ones like OBS that are very popular for recording content and live streaming. However, if you're ready to upgrade your camera to a higher resolution to get that really good and clean picture, then you're going to need to invest in a video capture card, and that's where this comes into play. This device allows you to connect up to 2 HDMI inputs. And in this case, I'm connecting 2 of my cameras directly into this unit. So I'm able to have 2 high quality camera images that I'm able to bring into that software, because as I'm searching for my camera, I'm going to be looking for the input called the OSEE GoStream M2. This device also has an HDMI output, which I'm currently using to display the images of my 2 inputs. So in this case, I'm using 2 OSEE tail air cameras that are 4K plugged into the GoStream M2, and then taking the output into my external monitor, where I'm able to see both of the camera images. Let's take a look at the unit itself. As you can see, it is very small. It doesn't take up a lot of space on your desk, and if you're looking for something to travel with, this is definitely a great option because it comes with a nice travel carry case as well. On the back of the unit, we have a USB-C connection, which is connected directly to my mini PC. The mini PC is actually giving it all the power that it needs to operate. So one USB-C connection from the M2 to my USB-C connection or my USB 3.0 connection that I'm using to my computer allows me to have power to the unit. We also have those 2 HDMI ports on the back, which are currently connected to my OSEE tail air cameras. And then we also have the HDMI out, which is connected to my external monitor. Now let's take a look at the actual unit itself. The buttons on top. And as we can see, we have the numbers 1 and the numbers 2 identified in red and green. This is simply your live and your preview. So camera 1 is currently highlighted red, which is our live camera, which is the OSEE tail air directly in front of me. Now camera 2 is my OSEE that is off to the side, and a simple button press on number 2 switches over to camera 2. So camera 1 is now showing as the preview option. So it makes it very easy with a click of a button to switch between 2 camera angles, which gives you what I like, a more dynamic recording and video live stream, because now you have multiple angles. And we all like multiple angles because it makes the video not so static. Now let's take a look at the top row of keys. And you can see that there are different layout configurations by the images on the actual keys. So button 1, top left, that shows 1 and 2, will allow us to have that 2 camera angle on top of each other. So this is pretty cool. And the second one is going to be our picture-in-picture angle. Our third is another picture-in-picture that simply moves where that picture-in-picture is actually located. And if we go down to the bottom row, we have our split screen angle, which is pretty nice. Now I could definitely see if you're doing an in-person interview how this option would actually work really, really well. And then we also have another picture-in-picture view, and finally another picture-in-picture view. Now the buttons on the far right-hand side allow us to change the size of that picture-in-picture. So by using the up arrow after I selected the configuration, we can see that it's increased the size of that smaller image. And using the arrow that's pointed down and side of the square allows us to make that image smaller. Now, if you want to change which camera is showing as the main large camera, simply think about the live in the preview setting that we talked about earlier. So we'll switch camera 2 to now be the large image, and camera 1 is now the small image. And by selecting the picture-in-picture mode, now our camera 1 is the small picture, and if we want to make it a little bit larger, we can do that, and we can make it smaller as well. So if we go back to our main shot, there is one more button on this console that you may want to consider using, which I'm not really quite sure why it's here, because I think it's pretty easy to already switch between camera 1 and camera 2. But if you select the button right in the middle, it also switches between camera 1 and camera 2. Again, not quite sure of why that button is necessary, but if somebody else does, make sure to let me know in the comments of how you would use that button rather than just switching between 1 and 2. Now let's take a look at the front of this unit, and this is where my reservations come in, and not for you, but for me and the type of equipment that I use and the type of content that I create. So on the front of this unit, we have some really interesting port options here, and the first one being our headphone jack. Now, I really like the addition of having a headphone jack because if we're doing video, we kind of need audio resources as well. Now, I have a set of headphones right here, and I can easily plug these into the front of this unit. There's a nice identifying marker of where to plug in your headphones because you don't want to confuse it with the other two ports that are available, which is your microphone port and your line in port. This is why I'm not going to be using the audio section of this device is because I don't use 3.5mm audio connections directly. The microphones that I have are either XLR microphones or they're USB microphones. And so this unit doesn't give me a place to plug in my microphones. So if I have a USB microphone, I'll just plug it directly into my computer. And if I'm using my XLR microphones, then chances are I'm using an audio mixer device, and I would just plug that directly into my computer as well. Because if you do want to go and use this unit, there is something that you do want to be aware of, which I haven't quite figured out how to resolve yet. And that's the fact that when I plug in my headphones, I'm hearing the audio of all my camera inputs. And if I'm using multiple camera inputs, I'm hearing all the audio from the cameras. So when I plug in these headphones, as I continue to talk, I can hear what's coming out of here. And I don't want to do that. I want to have more control of my audio. And so by using a dedicated audio interface, that allows me to have more control of the audio that I want to have control of. So in my case, the best solution is to use the audio separately from this unit. And quite frankly, that's what I already do. Out of every unit that I've used outside of my travel video switchers, I always plug my headphones into my main source computer and my audio directly into my main source computer. So my workflow would continue to be the same. But if you're looking for that all-in-one solution where you want to absolutely have your video and your audio going into the same unit, this is just something to be aware of. Now, again, if there is a solution, because I don't know everything, then definitely let me know in the comments because it'll help everyone else. And even better yet, make a YouTube video about it, because so many of you all have suggestions on my videos that if you made a video, I would direct them to your videos as well. So we're a community. Let's help each other out. Well, overall, I think this is a really great option for a small video capture card on your desk that allows you to connect multiple cameras and have those multiple camera angles that makes your videos look that much better. This is the device that you should look at if you're looking to level up from just a webcam solution and improve the overall quality of your videos. Or if you're using cameras that are HDMI compatible, this would be an option to have 2 video sources rather than just 1. And when you're able to switch videos inputs, your viewer retention rate definitely goes up because there's more to look at. You want to make sure that you're always thinking about your end viewer and not just yourself. Now, I actually need to get back to finishing this desk configuration because I don't have a microphone here yet. So I'm about to install a brand new microphone, and I want you guys to check it out in this next video.